Doom in the dungeon, can you feel the doom? Hey guys, TheKillerNacho here, and I have a battle with IMFuZionZ, a relatively new YouTube battler. I'll leave the link to his profile and description. So anyway, I lead with Jirachi, he leads with Galad, and he's going to Shadow Sneak right off the bat, and that's kind of good because it lets him get damage on me before I'm able to trick him a Choice Scarf. And he actually decides to switch here, and as I set up the Stealth Rocks, and he goes into a Mamoswine, and I don't really know why. I was really fearing this thing was like maybe Choice Scarfed or something, but it's not. I just go for the Iron Head, and I get the flinch because of Jirachi's Serene Gracelove, and he's going to go for the Ice Shard to get as much damage as possible before he goes down. So I don't really know what he was thinking about sending in Mamoswine, but am able to take it down thanks to some Serene Gracelovin. So yeah, now he goes into Salamence, and I'm just really afraid this thing's going to either Earthquake or Fire Blast me. And I know that if he Dragon Dances, it'll be a problem, so I go into Vaporeon, and he does Dragon Dance, and you know what? I decide, you know what? I'm going to try to bluff him. I'm going to try to bluff him that my Vaporeon has Ice Beam, and he falls for it. I'm like, epic bluff for the win, Zor. So yeah, he goes into Uxie, and I just go for the Hidden Power Electric, and I'm like, whatever. It does nothing to Uxie, but I'm really glad I was able to force the switch there. So now I go into Flygon, and he goes for the Calm Mind, so I see this is like some kind of Calm Mind, bulky, sweeper, Uxie, whatever thing. So yeah, I go for the U-turn, and it's super effective, and I get to switch out into somebody who I'm pretty sure can take Uxie's attacks, which is my Tyranitar. And he slips with the Sandstream to get the Rock-type special defense boost from the Sandstorm, and he just goes for the Psychic, which Tyranitar is immune to, thankfully. So I don't want him to do anything gay, so I just go for the Taunt, and he's not able to set up the Reflect, which is epic good for me, because I would really dislike that. So yeah, I decide to go for the Dragon Dance, not to, just thinking he'd switch, but he predicts the Dragon Dance, or I don't even know, and just goes into Scizor, and I can't stay in against Scizor because I am afraid of the Bullet Punch, so I just switch. So yeah, I decide to go out into Jirachi, and he goes for the Superpower, which is a pretty good play because it ends up doing a bunch of damage to Jirachi, unfortunately. And yeah, that's a pretty good play for him. And I'm just going to go for the Fire Punch since I have it, and yeah, he goes into Galad, I guess to scout out my move and maybe hit me with close combat. So I just go for the Fire Punch. It does actually decent damage to Galad, and now I'm going to switch because I don't really want to take any damage on Jirachi anymore, so I go into Skarmory, and he close combats, and Skarmory is able to take it pretty well due to his high defenses. And I'm kind of figuring he might go for it again, and I don't really want to leave Skarmory at just low health, so I decide now to go for the Roost, and that'll get me some much-needed health back. And I do go for the Roost, and it heals me to near full, actually, after the Roost and the leftovers. And Galad is being slowly withered down by the Sandstorm. So yeah, he decides to switch here, and as I go for the Brave Bird, and he goes into a Raikou, which obviously isn't going to take too much from Brave Bird since he resists it. And that's kind of bad for me. So I'm thinking he'll probably go for the Thunderbolt here, but here he outplays me pretty nicely. He goes for the Sub, and that's just lame, because I'm going to go out into Flygon, and I really wish I decided to go for the Whirlwind, but I just didn't. So yeah, he goes for the Sub, and the best thing I can do is just break the Sub with Earthquake. Now luckily for me, this isn't a Raikou that carries leftovers, it carries Life Orb, so I'm able to wither it down slightly, with the Life Orb recoil and the Substitute, and the Sandstorm is able to wither down his Raikou pretty nicely. So I did lose Flygon, but Raikou is nearly dead at this point. So I don't think he can switch in with Stealth Rocks in play, and I don't even know why he went for the Calm Mind here. I would have, I don't know. Maybe it was a misclick. I have no idea. But he probably should have just went for the Thunderbolt to get as much damage as possible against Tyranitar, but he just didn't. He just Calm Minded, and I killed him. So yeah, now he goes into Scizor, and I decided to go out in Jirachi, and he goes for the Swords Dance. Great prediction. So I'm thinking he might be able to kill me with Bullet Punch at this point. I don't really know what his EVs are. Maybe it's a bulky one. So I go for the Fire Punch, and he decides actually to not go for the Bullet Punch. And instead he goes for the Superpower, which I was really surprised he lived a Fire Punch. I've never seen a Scizor live a fire move. But Yeah, there you go. I go for the Fire Punch, doesn't quite kill the Caesar, and he's able to take me down with Superpower. But now that he has that -1 attack and defense, I go into Infernape and just go for the Flamethrower because it's like my most powerful move against it. And, you know, even if he does switch, I don't carry the Hidden Power Ice on this guy, so I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage to his Salamence anyway, but I figure that, you know, Flamethrower is probably the strongest move against it, and it does have a chance to burn, so whatever. So he goes into Uxie instead, and pretty much leaves it in his death fodder. It's pretty good for him since I get 2 hits from the Sandstorm and the Life Orb, and now he's just going to go into Galad, and I really don't want Infernape to die quite yet, so I go into Skarmory, and he tries to go for the Destiny Bond, so it looks like he was trying to get me to kill him, but I just didn't. So, yeah, I really don't want Skarmory to go down to a Destiny Bond, so I decide to Whirlwind, but he switches, which ends up being great for me, because he goes into Salamence. Salamence takes a bunch of damage, and now I Whirlwind him away, so now when he comes in again, he'll be at like 25%, which is really good. And I'm able to Whirlwind him into Galad, which is even better, because now that Galad takes even more Stealth Rocks and Sandstorm damage, so it's like really close to dying right now. So he locks himself in a taunt, which is funny because that stops me from whirlwinding, I guess. And yeah, he's like 1 Sandstorm hit from dying. So I decide just to put him out of his misery in Brave Bird, but he decides to go into Mence right now. And I get a crit off Brave Bird here. And at -2 with 2 Intimidates, I don't think I would have been able to kill, obviously, without the Brave Bird, or sorry, without the crit. But that'll give me the game because he's not going to be able to switch in anymore because of Stealth Rocks. The only thing I can say is I hope it was a 2-hit KO anyway, so the crit didn't really matter. But now all of his guys will die to Stealth Rocks. So good game, IMFuZionZ. Rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and make sure you check out his channel. Like I said, he's new to the YouTube thing and he could use some subs. Alright, peace, dudes. Rate, comment, subscribe. Today's question of the day is are you going to import the Japanese Pokemon Fire or Heart Gold Soul Silver, or are you planning to wait for it to come out in English or whatever your native language is? As for me, I would like to pre-order it. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Heart Gold Soul Silver, and it's coming out really soon in Japan, but I'd probably prefer to play it in English, so I'm going to wait. But leave a comment about that, and rate, comment, subscribe.